This film is focused on the character of Bill, who is William O'Neill, an informant for the FBI who got in that position because he would pretend to be a federal agent while stealing cars from other people within his own community. Um, this led him to joining the Black Panther Party, where he would, climb the ranks due to resources from the Bureau and gain the trust of all the Panthers involved. One thing that annoys me about these types of stories is how they go about showing how the person who is infiltrating the organization is going to gain the trust of the organization. Those types of scenes always bother me because it's clear that they're just setting it up to show you how he was able to get in their good graces. But in reality, it's not always some test of, putting a gun in somebody's face and being like, oh, somebody else recognizing them from somewhere and them having to create some crazy story on the spot. And, just the whole scene with them going to visit the Green Berets and the catching up with the old Green Beret whose car he tried to steal and everything like that. It was a great scene, but I feel as though that part took away from it. Definitely. This film focuses on Bill, but Daniel Kaluuya is the star in the way he portrays Fred Hampton. His portrayal is so spot on and so powerful and moving that you almost forget that we're not supposed to be following this character. We're supposed to be following another character. The speeches that they write into the script are extremely powerful and are reminiscent of the actual words that Fred Hampton would give at his rallies. And I was very appreciative of that. Something else that really that I really enjoyed was the fact of how human they made the Panthers. They didn't make them some overzealous, super angry people all the time and the struggle. There was a lot of that because of the content, but the characters were very believable and the acting in this film was phenomenal. Ashton Sanders, who I didn't even know was going to be in this film, was phenomenal in his role as Jimmy Palmer, and just his cadence is always outstanding to me. Lakeith as Bill, I've been keeping up with a couple of Lakeith interviews, and he talks about how he's needed therapy since playing this role, and I can understand why, because of how heavy the subject matter is of this film. And Daniel Kaluuya, I've said what I need to say. Jesse Plemons, his role as the FBI agent who was stringing along Lakeith or Bill William O'Neill, is one of cold calculation. Even though his character isn't completely all on the most serious side, you can see that they try to write in the character with some sort of conscience with his, with his bosses not having any. But we all know that that's not how it really went down. So it doesn't matter. And I think that the heart of this film was Dominique Fishback, though, as Deborah Johnson. We start the film. Well, we don't start the film with her, but when we get to Fred Hampton, we get to her as well. She's in the crowd, and in my opinion, she acts as the audience's conscience, as well as portraying her own, because of the emotions she goes through in this film. She goes through it as somebody who is seeing Hampton for the first time in person, creating a relationship with him, then following that relationship and letting it grow and develop. And then once something does develop majorly in their relationship, which is her getting pregnant, her perspective changes because of the content of his speeches, where he's talking about going to jail, being murdered for what he believes in, and everything like that. And, you know, once you bring a child into this world, your whole viewpoint of how you want to represent yourself, or how you want to use your force for good in this world, has to be reevaluated in some type of way. And I think that Dominique Fishback in this role as Deborah Johnson was so real, and you know, her emotions bled through the script onto the screen and into our hearts. And you know, all the events that took place in this film, with Panthers getting murdered, and you know, Bill's relationship with Roy Mitchell, and you know, just seeing the different things that Hampton was trying to accomplish in the midst of all of these other things happening around him, unbeknownst to him, was just a lot to take in at one time. And I do think that this film was quite necessary, as I said before, but it was also very emotionally heavy. It's very emotionally heavy. Uh, it was definitely needed during Black History Month, and I think that um, this ensemble cast needs to be recognized in some way or fashion over the course of the year, because of their performances.